handle that thing, and come back.
Usually when we do trainings in-house, there's a tendency for participants to leave the room from time to time because the bosses call them or they have to attend a meeting. How do you reduce this occurrence?
Okay. Wow. Okay. So number one, there is no. I will treat them. They are adults, so I will give them the benefit of the doubt that they know what's best for them. That's number one. Yeah. That's the mindset that I have as I work with participants. So number two, I think if you set the context well enough, they will be able to appreciate why they are in the room and what is their purpose and function and why it's important to be in the room. So I think this I've always relied on a very strong context set. So usually my context set takes about an hour and a bit to just get people to be clear. Yeah. So now I also, within the context set, you can also set the context of them having the choice to actually go out and handle their stuff if it's truly urgent. Yeah, because let's put it this, at the end of the day, what we are focused on is their learning. So can you imagine if you open and close, force them to be in the room, but in their mind, they know that they have to do something quickly, just 5 minutes, but they can't go out. Where do you think their mind is going to be at?
Outside.
Not at the learning. It's outside, exactly. So in the end, it defeats the purpose of them being in the room. So I would actually, rather than leave the room, handle that thing and come back, so that they are fully present in the room, you know. So for me, these are the couple of things that I have come to surrender, and I always put this in advance, and I always tell them that what are the times that are for the breaks, and I actually invite them to look at the breaks as the place where they can actually handle their WhatsApp, handle their email. I actually deliberately say that in my contact set.
Yeah.
So
then it fits within the context that you said, actually, right?
Correct. So it allows them to take ownership of their own learning, and this is very vital and very important. And I think it goes a long way, rather than them feeling being forced in the room. It goes a long way when you acknowledge and honor them to take ownership of their learning. More often than not, they become your partner. They become your learning partner, and they actually become more effective because of that. Yeah. So that would be my answer. There's no way for you. There are ways like you could reprimand them. You know, I know some trainings they actually give denda and all that. But I feel that if you do all that, you are not creating a covenant. You need to create a covenant with your participant. Yeah, that you can both live by. And what is that covenant around? Is around mutual respect, mutual understanding, and mutual that's true, respect and understanding, I would say. Yeah.
What do you mean by covenant?
Covenant is I mean, like in religious terms, covenant is basically a promise lah, or an agreement. I use the word covenant because for me, I want to put in a little bit more heavy enforcement around this agreement that you have. Yeah, it doesn't have to be a verbal agreement, but it is an agreement that you hold with yourself as you handle your participant, to have a covenant with them. Yeah, take it seriously. That they are adults. They are adults, and therefore, being an adult, you need to accord them with certain characteristics that is pertinent to them.
How would you manage the tone and energy of a participant that is dominating the space too much?
Okay. Yes, this is also another thing that facilitation, we talk a lot about facilitation. In facilitation is how do we, because one of the essence of facilitation as well is all voices in the room must be heard. All the voices of the room has opportunity to be heard, and all voices in the room is important. Yeah, so not one voice is more than the other. So there are a couple of things that you could do. Okay, so I always believe that prevention is better than cure. So that's the first way that you should go. So what do I mean by that? So that means within the design of your session, you need to already embed some form of intervention so that this kind of voices doesn't go above other people's voices. So within the processes that you use, within the steps that you take with them, it actually neutralizes these voices. At the same time, it allows other voices to rise up. So that is in the design. Okay, what happens if you design and it still comes up? Okay, the first thing, and this is something that I've learned from Captain Shan, the first thing is that you don't want to fight ego with ego. Because you don't want to be a power play. So meaning they show power, you show power. So they are become a high voice, you come in and become a bigger voice than them. Guess what's going to happen? When you do that, he will then take a bigger voice. So what you need to do is, when it comes to this situation, you need to disperse the power. You need to disperse the energy. And there are many different methods of doing it. You could assign them roles. The ones that that's starting to have a lot of opinion, you could assign them a role that allows them to use that voice sparingly, and it also honors them with a role. So for example, he could be, say, the captain. I would appoint him the captain of the group, for example. And as the role of a captain of the group, he needs to make sure that everyone's voice is heard.
Right.
Guess what? So you see, that's one way of you trying to disperse. So you are not fighting the power. You're not putting in energy around him, but you are dispersing the energy. So that would be one of the things that I would say is come from the context of, yes, how do I disperse this energy, rather than I confront this energy.